Awakening Your Everyday Wisdom, Love, Part B. We're going to talk about spiritual love, agape love. This is also called unconditional love or God's divine love. From my viewpoint, this is the kind of love that has the ability to save our planet and our species. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm a little nervous right now. I see a lot of stuff going on in the world that makes me question if our species is going to survive or if it's going to be taken over by a new world order or artificial intelligence, or if climate change is going to rip us apart, or what happens if we run out of fossil fuels? That's been predicted in the very near future. So with all these things kind of bothering me, I think, whoa, how are we going to survive? And then I think about spiritual love, and that's the way, in my opinion. So I'm going to offer a dozen ways to increase your spiritual love. Take what you like. I'm not really trying to teach or preach. These are just my ideas, and hopefully they might be useful to you. So the first one is to contemplate the concept that God is love. No matter what your religion is, no matter how you've been raised, just hold that thought and see what comes up for you. You might be mad at God. Some of us are. If we've been suffering a lot in life, we can say, there's no God. Or if there is a God, he or she is a schmuck. But I'm not going there. I say concentrate on the idea that God is love and see what opens up for you. The next one is to forgive anyone who has ever hurt you in any way. That could be a tall order, especially somebody who's suffered a lot of abuse, mistreatment, neglect. You might need to get some help, some counseling, some support in working through those issues, because it's really trite to say to somebody who's suffering, oh, just forgive them and move on. Forget it. That's all in the past. All that's true, but forgiveness is huge, not only if you've been hurt, but even if you've just been slighted or ignored, not neglected, or maybe you didn't get your way with somebody. Forgiveness is across the board. It is the beginning point of love, happiness, joy, and, in my view, survival. So it's a big one. Look for the good in others. It's so easy to see other people's failings and shortcomings and mistakes and their ugliness. But if we make a conscious effort to look for the good, we're opening the door to love. And forgive yourself. It's one thing to forgive everybody else who's mistreated you, but what about all those nasty things you've said to yourself? What about all the times you've neglected your own needs? Yep, forgiveness, self-forgiveness. Look for the good in you. So often we look in the mirror and all we could see is our blemishes and our crooked teeth, or sometimes when we look at ourselves, all we can see are our shortcomings. So we have to get past that and look for the good in ourselves. It's there. It is there in ample supply because you are a loving, creative human being. You've got so much going for you. So find it. Ask yourself or God or your concept of a higher power or authority to forgive you. So when we ask for forgiveness, it's a very humbling experience because we're putting ourselves out. We're saying, I know I failed. I know I was wrong. and we have to admit those things. But when we ask for forgiveness, it's a way of lifting the burden of guilt off of our shoulders. And we don't have to have proof that we've been forgiven. The act of asking is all we need. And there's a really, I'll do a little side note here. There's a really cool practice called Hooponopono, and I'll put that up on the screen so you could get the spelling of it. It's a Polynesian practice, and it goes something like this. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now, when I practice that, I say, I love you, God. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. The idea behind this is to repeat it over and over again until the angst and the issues have resolved themselves. It's very powerful, I think. Raise your emotional vibration. I'm going to have a whole video on quantum physics and how to raise your vibration, but raising your emotional vibration can be as simple as thinking happy thoughts, like the sound of music. You know that song? Whenever I get down, I think of raindrops on noses and soft little toes, and I don't know the words, but you probably do. But I try to think about nice things, fun things, things I love when I get down. And that's a way to raise your emotional vibration. There are other ways too. Build your heart energy by loving whatever or whomever is occurring in your life. So sometimes we think, I don't like this. I'm stuck doing the dishes and the laundry or whatever, or I can't get that raise at work, or my kids are running wild. So it's easy to look at those things and go, life is gloomy, life is hard. But if we look at these things with love and these events and these people, it changes our perception, and it helps us to build heart energy. So notice every expression of love in life. Okay, here's one that I find very interesting. I heard this, and at first I didn't believe it because I'm kind of a naysayer, but I heard that if you see feathers on the ground or in your car or wherever, it is a little gift from an angel, just reminding you of God's love. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. So one week I was having a very challenging week, and would you know that I saw 5 or 6 feathers in my path, and it just made me stop and go, whoa, maybe I've got a little help coming from the other side. Maybe I should lighten up here. So that was quite fun, actually. But notice every expression of love in life, even if it's just something you see on Facebook, who knows? And then practice behaviors and habits that expand love in your life. So if you find that you're enjoying something or you're bringing joy to others, expand it. Do more of that. And expel unloving thoughts. And we can get down on each other. We can get down on ourselves. But whenever we have those unloving, negative, maybe even hateful thoughts, cancel them. Erase them. This is what I do. I go, cancel that thought. And I don't know who I'm speaking to exactly, maybe my own consciousness or, the ethers or something, but I always lift up my finger and I go, cancel that thought. It works for me because then I don't dwell and bring myself down in a negative spiral. And then practice acts of kindness. I saw this somewhere, and I think there's even a website by that name, and you can check it out if you like, but what a great idea to practice acts of kindness, and anonymously is really cool too. So those are my 12 suggestions for how to increase your spiritual love. Here are a few affirmations for you. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable. I am love. Here are a few messages for you. The key to salvation is love for individuals and humanity as a whole. Self-love is the key to everlasting relationships. Through understanding your own internal capacity for love, you realize that the creation of love is the work of your own hand. Love all that is. When you are motivated by love, the highest wisdom can unfold. And becoming vulnerable is sometimes the only way to discover love. So in closing, I'll share with you a little blessing that I give at the end of my yoga classes. It's from Ram Dass. It goes like this. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the bright light within guide your way on. Namaste. Thank you for listening and participating in this video. If you'd like to chat, here's my email address. Feel free to contact me. I'm here to provide support. And please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much. Blessings.